Instruments commonly used in Western music are often categorized into 4 groups or families: strings, woodwinds, brass, and percussion. The string family, which is all chordophones, consists of 2 categories of instruments: bowed and plucked. The bowed string family includes the violin, the viola, the violoncello, also known as the cello, and the double bass. They are often called the heart of the orchestra due to the prominence of this section in almost all symphonic works. Pictured is famous cellist Yo-Yo Ma. The bowed string family can be played in many styles and produce special effects that are interesting to observe in a concert setting. The most common style of playing is the legato style, which is when the notes are smoothly connected. A short and detached style of playing is called staccato. Other effects include pizzicato, where the player tucks the bow under his hand and plucks the strings, and double, triple, or quadruple stopping, which is the playing of 2, 3, or 4 strings together, as well as a number of other effects. You might notice in a concert setting that although there are many players in each string section, the movement of the bows is well coordinated. The bowings are usually handwritten into the parts by the principal players of each section. Woodwind instruments are aerophones and were formerly made of wood. But be careful, modern woodwinds are not all made from wood. The principle of sound production on a woodwind is the division of an air column, either by directing the air toward a blowing edge on the opposite side of a mouth hole, or by a single or double reed attached to a mouthpiece. The flute is the earliest known musical instrument. Some have even been found which date back to 35,000 years ago. The primary instruments of the brass family, also aerophones, are the trumpet, French horn or horn, trombone, and tuba. The sound is produced by buzzing into a cone-shaped mouthpiece attached to a length of tubing that flares out at the end of a bell. Trumpets and horns were first made from animal horns or tusks and used mainly for religious ceremonies and for military signals. Other brass instruments found in bands include the cornet, bugle, flugelhorn, and euphonium. There are 2 categories of percussion instruments, those that have definite pitch and those of indefinite pitch. Listed here are some examples of percussion instruments that have definite pitch. Percussion instruments that do not produce a definite pitch include snare and bass drums. Other non-pitched percussion instruments include castanets, cymbals, triangle, and gong. The gong is a broad circular disc of metal suspended from a frame so it hangs freely. It is widely used in the Far East and Asia, where it is part of an ensemble known as a gamelan. Some instruments are difficult to place in one instrument family. One example is the piano, which has strings struck with hammers. The organ is a type of wind instrument. Its airflow is controlled by a console with 2 or more keyboards and a pedal keyboard. A harpsichord is an early keyboard instrument widely used in the Baroque era. Its metal strings are plucked by quills. Choral music is sung around the world for both sacred and secular occasions. A chorus is a large body of singers who perform together. Choruses can be comprised of men or women only, or both. A choir is traditionally a smaller group of singers, often associated with a church or the performance of sacred music. The King's Singers, pictured here, is a popular all-male British a cappella vocal ensemble. A cappella music is vocal music performed without instrumental accompaniment. Instrumental ensembles can range from a chamber ensemble, which features 2 to 12 players, to an orchestra, which may consist of 85 or more members. The most well-known type of chamber ensemble is the string quartet, made up of 2 violins, a viola, and a cello. A duo sonata consists of a soloist with a piano. The piano trio, quartet, and quintet includes a piano along with stringed instruments. Pictured here is the Ying Quartet, which was founded by 4 siblings in 1992. This innovative string quartet has included actors, dancers, electronics, a magician, and even a Chinese noodle chef in their concerts. They recently won a Grammy for their album 4+4. The term orchestra may be applied to any performing body with diverse instruments. In Western culture, the term orchestra is now synonymous with symphony orchestra, which is an ensemble of strings along with woodwind, brass, and percussion instruments. The instruments of an orchestra are arranged according to the best balance of sound. The strings are in the front, woodwinds in the middle, and brass and percussion instruments are in the back. The term band can be applied to a variety of ensembles which feature winds and percussion at their core rather than strings. A concert band, sometimes called a wind ensemble, can range from 40 to 80 players. A marching band often entertains at sports events and parades. The term band may also apply to jazz or rock ensembles. A jazz band consists of a rhythm section of percussion, bass, piano, and electric guitar. In addition, a jazz band might include a brass section and a reed section made up of saxophones and a clarinet. A rock band usually features electric guitars, vocals, percussion, and synthesizers. Pictured here is heavy metal artist Ozzy Osbourne with Black Sabbath in 1978. A conductor is usually needed to lead large ensembles, such as an orchestra, concert band, or chorus. As leader of the group, they are most useful in helping the performers keep the same tempo. They accomplish this by flourishing a thin stick, called a baton, in patterns that indicate the strong and weak beats of the music. The conductor is also responsible for interpreting the music for the group with regard to all devices of musical expression and the rehearsal of the ensemble. The concertmaster of an orchestra is the first chair violinist who makes decisions with regard to bowing and other technical details of playing for the violin section. He or she is also in charge of tuning the orchestra before concerts and rehearsals. In a concert band, the concertmaster is the first chair clarinet or oboe. Pictured here is the famous conductor and composer Gustavo Dudamel, new conductor of the Los Angeles Philharmonic. The Young Person's Guide to the Orchestra, Opus 34, is an introduction to the modern orchestra. It was composed in 1946 by British composer Benjamin Britten for an educational documentary. Its purpose is to demonstrate the sound of each instrument and section of the orchestra. The form of this piece is the statement of a theme by the entire orchestra, followed by a series of 13 short variations, each featuring a new instrument in order from highest to lowest. The work ends with a fugue, a polyphonic form that was very popular in the Baroque era. Please view the 2-part YouTube videos of this piece with lecture and commentary contained in the Chapter 10 section of your course. Music holds a prominent place in almost every culture. In general, it accompanies ceremonies, helps workers move more efficiently, and provides entertainment. The function of music can be divided into two basic categories, sacred and secular. Secular music is music that is normally used outside of a religious context. Pictured is the painting The Old Guitar Player by Pablo Picasso, an artist who lived from 1881 to 1973. The distinctive features of a work of art make up its style. In music, a style is created through the characteristics of the elements of music: melody, rhythm, harmony, texture, form, and devices of musical expression. Genre is a general term that suggests the overall character of a work as well as its function. The term symphony is a designated genre category for a four-movement orchestral work. The term symphony also implies the medium. The medium refers to the specific type of group that performs the piece. The generally accepted style periods and dates in the history of Western music are listed here. The dates are as follows: Medieval era, approximately 476 to 1450. Renaissance era, 1450 to 1600. Baroque era, 1600 to 1750. Classical era, 1750 to 1825. Romantic era, 1825 to 1900. And 20th century and beyond, 1901 to the present. The remaining chapters of your text focus on specific style periods. Additional elements of music are presented throughout the chapters. After you have read and studied all the sections of Part 1, be sure you have completed all the diagnostic quizzes and listening quizzes.